Welcome back to Politics Nation. Former President Donald Trump is currently holding a campaign rally in his hometown of New York City at Madison Square Garden, where he is also accompanied by his most high-profile supporters and surrogates. Joining me now is New York State Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart-Cousins, a Democrat, who is also the board chair of the Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee. Thank you for joining me, Senator. What message do you think Trump is sending to New Yorkers where he is still fairly unpopular in comparison to Vice President Biden and Vice President Harris and President Biden?
Reb, I have no idea what message he thinks he's sending. But the message that New Yorkers are going to send is that we're not interested. We know better. We know who he is. We know that the danger that he actually poses when he talks about Americans being the enemies from within. We also believe in freedom. We believe in democracy. We believe in our reproductive freedom. And we want to go forward. We want to do the things that Vice President Harris and Tim Walz are talking about. We are invested in believing in the future that includes all of us. So Donald Trump can have a rally. I know people are here from all over the country, and I guess that will make him feel good. But when he goes home, we will forget about him, and we will vote for Harris and Walz.
Now, it's been more than 2 decades since a Republican won a statewide election in New York, and Trump is unlikely to win it now. However, Republicans keep fighting to keep control of the House through a series of tight races. Trump's presence there could have an effect on turnout for some of the races in New York State. At the midterm elections in 2022, Republicans won enough seats in New York to secure a slim majority on Capitol Hill. Although New York as a state is still Democratic, what do you think is driving the shift in Republican support there?
You know, I think the reality is that, yeah, there were congressional seats that were lost, but we are focused. We understand that defeating Trump is important, but we also understand the down ballot races are important. The congressional races are important. The state legislative races are important. Every single one, because you know, the Republicans are trying to install a MAGA agenda on every single level of government. So they have a forward-thinking, back-pulling agenda that will harm us. So congressional races are going to be run right here in New York State. You know, we are working really, really hard. We have a coordinated effort with the state. It's only a difference of 5 congressional seats that will give us Hakeem Jeffries as the Speaker.
A New Yorker.
A New Yorker.
You and I know well.
As opposed to Johnson. And we can get this done between New York and California. We will get it done because, again, we are looking for a Congress that reflects our values. We're looking for a Congress that understands that we are going forward. We are not going back.
Now, early voting currently underway in New York. I voted today after I preached out for Reverend Slaughter in Newark. And where Democrats are most hopeful about winning back seats in the state with early voting. What message are you hoping voters take away as they head to the polls?
Well, I hope that they understand, especially in New York, because, as you said, I'm chair of the DLCC. And what we do is try and flip chambers from red to blue. And the reality is there was no early voting in New York until Democrats took over both houses. And what we're seeing is enthusiasm for the Harris-Walz ticket. We're seeing people out there in massive numbers. I think New York City saw the biggest numbers that they've ever seen. I'm seeing in Westchester and upstate. So people are coming because they want their voices heard, because they believe in democracy. So I think that what we're going to see all over this country, the people holding on to the dream of democracy, using early voting, using their power, using their voice to bring us to a point where maybe we can put MAGA behind us. I would hope so. Certainly if we are able to get the state legislative chambers to have Democrats, we will be able to just, you know, say we're not doing this. We believe in democracy, not fascism, and we're going to go forward.
Now, you're on the board of the Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee, and you are making their final argument in this election cycle by expanding their ranks in state legislatures to argue that they are vital in defending America's democratic process. The DLCC is specifically targeting the legislative majority in Pennsylvania, Arizona, Michigan, and North Carolina. Talk to me more about this effort to mobilize state legislatures in defense of democracy.
Because we know that state legislatures have a real key role to play. When Democrats are in charge, we don't let them mess with the voting system. You know, Donald Trump was trying to get state legislatures to elect new electors, do whatever they want. So we understand that we have to be clear about getting Democrats elected. So we're fighting to hold on to our majorities in Michigan, in Minnesota, in Pennsylvania, Arizona, and New Hampshire. Just a handful of seats will give us a majority. And then when you think about a place like North Carolina, if we get one seat in North Carolina, we'll be able to take away the veto-proof Republican majority that they have.
Just one seat?
Just one seat in either house. So I hope that people understand that every level is important. Your state legislators, because, again, when New York turned and New York Senate had not been Democratic for the better part of 100 years. People don't realize that. So we've had the majority for about 5 or 6 years now. But what did we do? We decided to codify Roe v. Wade. We did the John R. Lewis Voting Act right here, as well as the Eric Garner chokehold.
Right.
We've gotten free meals expanded for kids. We're looking at middle-class tax cuts and continue to have the lowest rate in 70 years in the middle class. We've done criminal justice reform, climate change, LGBTQ community. And here in New York, we've advanced the Equal Rights Amendment. So when people come, they flip the ballot, they will see Prop 1, vote yes. Because our Constitution hasn't been updated in terms of who's protected since 1938. So we could do a lot on the state level, and it's just the power of the people that are going to bring it home.
And as a New Yorker, I know you led many of those legislative initiatives. New York State Senator Andrea Stewart-Cousins, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.